Okay, welcome to the kitchen. Like I said before, we're going to do some codfish today. Now, black cod is very white, flaky kind of fish. There's some bones in it. You got to be a little careful when you're cooking it to make sure that you get some of the sinew in there. I'll show you all that, but first I thought we'd do the fish two different ways today. And the first is going to be with a crust. It's going to have a crust of potato and leek, which to me, the reason I'm going to do potato and leek is because recently we made a potato and leek soup here at the restaurant, and I just love those combinations. I guess the only thing that's not in this is the bacon that we have in the potato and leek. But actually, you know what? That wouldn't be a bad idea. Anyway, I've got a baking potato here, Idaho potato, chef potato, something starchy. That's what you're looking for. Something like a new potato or a red potato, red bliss, wouldn't work as well because you want a really starchy potato here. The idea is that the starch in the potato is going to help this whole thing kind of stick together. So we're not using any binder in this, so we'll call it a crust or this coating that we're putting on the outside. So anyway, we're just going to peel. Now you don't have to peel the potato. If you wanted to do this whole thing with the skin on, you could. There's no reason why it wouldn't work. But I just think that you're doing a beautiful black cod. It's a great fish. It's a little pricey. It's got some great flavor to it. It's going to take on some really nice flavors as well with these other ingredients. But I don't want to change the color. I want this to kind of be like a white and green looking kind of crusting to this. I just thought the best way to do this is we grab the potato and we're going to start here just like this. Now, if you have a potato ricer, that would work. I don't have a potato ricer, but the idea is that you want to do this. You want to get it, see what we have here? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to clean our leeks here. What we have to do is make sure that we rinse this because there can be some dirt. Now, there's a bunch of rule of thumbs. Some people say you want to eat the green part or the white part or both or neither. Or what I'll do is I cut the end off here, okay? And Matt, get a look in there. See how it's kind of packed real tight? But there's layers of this thing. We're going to peel this apart. Now, a lot of people would say you should use both of it. I like using both. I use some of the green and the white. But today we're going to use just mostly the white part down this end here. See? Light green. So I'm just going to kind of make a couple slices and take the whole thing like a dust broom. Just give it a quick rinse. So if there is any dirt inside, we get that dirt out. And you can do this if you find that you're getting some dirt out of that. You can do it, rinse it 2-3 times and get all the dirt out. But I'm just going to steal a little bit like this. And we'll save this for something else right now. Okay, so we've kind of got it started here. We're just going to take a bunch of this. See how it just comes right apart? We're going to take a bunch of this and we're just going to do some really fine chops. And so we'd have the potato in here, the leek. We'd season this next with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. If you wanted to add a little something else, some fresh herbs, it's up to you. Bottom line though is we let all this stuff kind of just sit in the fridge for a little bit till we were ready to go. When we were ready to go, what we have is what I have here. Okay, so I've got some really nice kind of crust. See how dry that is too? So we let that dry out. It's got the potato, it's got some leek in it. So what I have now is this really beautiful fillet of cod. Look at that. Now we're talking about how you keep this, you check through. There can be, see like down at the ends here especially, there can be a little sinew, there can be a little bit of bones. Sometimes, you know, right along the back here, you just feel along with your fingers. And there'd be little, if there are bones in there, little tiny pin bones, just grab a needle nose pliers and just kind of pull them out. This guy's pretty good. I'm going to add a little bit of butter to that. Okay, so we let that go for a minute. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we take a little bit of this butter, this oil, we get it hot. We're going to take some of our mix. And what you want to do is you want to mound a little bit of the mix up, which is the potatoes and the leeks and a little bit of salt and pepper. And you put a bit on the bottom, kind of keep it together. And then you take the fillet and put it right on top. Press it down. Now we're going to let that go. That's going to go for about, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes. And keep your eye on it. I'm going to lower the flame now. I'm going from high down to medium high. I want to cook the leeks and the potatoes. I want to form a crust on one side. As soon as we do that, as soon as we get the crust to form, what you do is you take the whole thing with a spatula now. You grab one of your rubber spatulas. Let this go for about 5 or 6 minutes. Go in with a spatula, flip the whole thing over. And then what you want to do is you can always, you say, well, the fillet is awful thick. I'm afraid that I didn't cook it through. Well, I'll tell you the truth. What you can end up doing is you don't want to burn one side. So you'll see some of the potato on the outside starting to brown up. So before it gets really dark, what you do is you flip it over. The potatoes cooked, the leeks cooked, but you pop the whole thing in the oven. Now, what I did was I popped one in the oven I let it continue cooking through, and what we have is exactly what we have right here. Now see how that looks? So on the one side, what we did was we potato and leek on one side, we pan-seared the whole thing, we flipped it over, we put a mound on the other side as well. Come underneath. And there we go. Now to finish this, we grab a really good olive oil, put a little drizzle of some really good olive oil across the top. You can do this if you want to with some more potatoes. Hey, that's very Italian, double starch. You can do this with some home fries. You can do this with garlic smashed. I think this thing, just like that, maybe a little Parmesan risotto on the bottom,